The Sukhoi Su-17, NATO reporting name, Fitter, is a Soviet variable sweep-wing fighter bomber developed from the Sukhoi Su-7. It enjoyed a long career in Soviet, later Russian, service and was widely exported to Eastern Bloc, Arab Air Forces, Angola, and Peru as the Su-20 and Su-22. It is the first variable sweep-wing of Russian/Soviet origin. The Su-17 set a number of world records. Development. Seeking to improve low-speed and takeoff/landing performance of the Su-7B fighter bomber, in 1963 the Sukhoi OKB with input from TSAGI created a variable sweep-wing technology demonstrator. The Su-7IG, internal designation S-22I, NATO designation Fitter B, converted from a production Su-7BM, had fixed inner portions of the wing with movable outer segments which could be swept to 28 degrees, 45 degrees, or 62 degrees. A fixed inner wing simplified construction, allowing the manufacturer to retain the Su-7 landing gear and avoiding the need for complex pivoting under wing hardpoints, and it minimized the shift in the center of pressure relative to the center of mass with change in wing sweep. The new wing also had extensive leading edge slats and trailing edge flaps. Su-7IG first flew on August 2, 1966 with VSI Lyashin at the controls, becoming the first Soviet variable geometry aircraft. Testing revealed that takeoff and landing speeds had decreased by 50-60 km/h, 31-37 mph, compared to the conventional Su-7. The production aircraft was named Su-17, NATO designation Fitter C, factory designation S-32, and was unofficially dubbed Straz, Martlet, in service. Aside from the new wing, it differed from its predecessor Su-7 in having a new canopy and a dorsal fuselage spine for additional fuel and avionics. The Su-17 first flew on July 1, 1969 with E.K. Kukushev at the controls. A total of 2,867 Su-17 and its variants were built, of which 1,165 were exported to 15 nations. Operational history. Soviet Union/Russia. The Su-17 entered service with the Soviet Air Force in 1970. The aircraft was used by both the Soviets and the Afghanistan government forces during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. High-altitude airfields and hot dusty climate created special operational challenges. In the summer, the takeoff roll of the Su-17 increased 1.5-fold and landings frequently ended with burst tires and brake fires. Avionics failures were common due to heat and sand contamination. However, the AL-21F engine proved tolerant of routine ingestion of sand and sand-contaminated fuel, and by 1985 the combat readiness of the Su-17 fleet exceeded that of the Sukhoi Su-25 and the helicopters. The first series Su-17s were quickly replaced with more capable Su-17M3 and Su-17M4. Despite its durability and payload, the aircraft proved ill-adapted for combat in the mountainous terrain due to high attack speeds, low maneuverability, and the need to stay out of range of anti-aircraft artillery due to lack of significant armor protection. Although external armor was added around the engine, hydraulics, and fuel systems based on damage analysis, this was still insufficient compared to dedicated close air support Su-25s. The appearance of manpads such as the Soviet-made Strela-2, smuggled from Egypt, and the American FIM-43 Red-Eye and later FIM-92 Stinger, presented a new threat and forced Su-17s to even higher operational altitudes. Revised tactics and retrofit of up to 12 flare dispensers which fired automatically during the attack run proved effective, and in 1985 only one Soviet Su-17 was lost to ground fire. Forced to operate 3,504,000 m, 11,513,100 feet, above ground, Su-17s shifted from using unguided rockets to bombs, including thermobaric weapons, while Su-25s were tasked with precision strikes. Toward the end of the war, the Su-17 force was partially replaced by the Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-27s in order to perform operational testing of the new fighter bomber. The Su-17 M3/4 were used during the First Chechen War alongside Sukhoi Su-24s and Sukhoi Su-25s in ground attack and reconnaissance missions. In a move to eliminate single-engine strike aircraft from its inventory, the Russian Air Force retired its last Su-17 M4 along with its fleet of MiG-23/27s in 1998. Angola. The Soviets supplied the Communist government of Angola with 12 Su-20Ms in 1982 or 1983, which formed the basis of the 15th FS. The squadron suffered a swift loss of at least 6 aircraft, most in mishaps by 1985, and 3 more by 1988, and had only 2 aircraft left when it was reinforced with another Soviet batch of 14 Su-22M4KS and 2 Su-22UM3KS in 1989-90, incorporated into the 26th Air Regiment, based in Mokamedes. A second shipment from Belarus in 1999 consisted of 2 Su-22 UBS and 4 Su-22 MS, and a third one from Slovakia in 1999-2001 consisted of 10 Su-22 M4S and 1 Su-22 UM3K. These aircraft saw heavy use in the war against UNITA. From the aforementioned losses, which cannot be classified as mishaps or combat attrition, only in Su-20M, serialed C510 was reportedly downed in 1987, and a better documented case occurred on November 6, 1994 when an Su-22 based at Katumbala was shot down by a SAM fired by UNITA during a raid against Huambo. The pilot managed to eject and flee naked after stripping off his flight suit. Iraq. From September 22, 1980 to August 20, 1988, during the Iran-Iraq War, Iraq used Su-17 export versions, Su-20 and Su-22, alongside older Su-7s. They were mostly used in ground attack and in close air support role. Iranian F-14s shot down 21 Su-20/22s, that have been confirmed by Western sources. 18 Su-20/22s were also shot down by Iranian McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom IIS. And 3 by Iranian Northrop F-5s. Official Iraqi accounts show no loss of Su-20 aircraft throughout the war against the Kurds in Iran. 20 Su-22M2, 2 Su-22M3, and 7 Su-22M4 were lost during the war with Iran, the majority to anti-aircraft fire sustained during low-level bombing raids against the Iranian front lines. In 1991, during the Gulf War, fitters saw limited active service because the Iraqi regime distrusted the Air Force. 2 Su-20/22 and 1 Su-7 were shot down by a U.S. Air Force F-15C in the closing days of the campaign, when the IQAF was moving its aircraft to Iran. Many more were destroyed on the ground by coalition air forces or evacuated to Iran and were never returned. On 20 and March 22, 2 other Su-20/22s were downed by a U.S. Air Force F-15C during Operation Provide Comfort that started soon after the war. Libya. 2 Libyan Su-22s were shot down in the Gulf of Sidra incident by U.S. Navy Grumman F-14 Tomcats on August 19, 1981. 1 Su-22 fired an AA-2 Atoll missile head-on at one of the F-14s from an estimated 300-meter, 984-foot, closing distance. Both were then downed by AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. On October 8, 1987, in the aftermath of the Chadian-Libyan conflict, a Su-22 Mk was shot down by a FIM-92A fired by Chadian forces. The pilot, Captain Dia al-Din, ejected and was captured. He was later granted political asylum by the French government. During the recovery operation, a Libyan MiG-23 MS was shot down by a FIM-92A. A Libyan Su-22 crashed near Benghazi on February 23, 2011. The crew members, Captain Adia Abdel Salem al-Abdalai and his number 2, Ali Omar Gaddafi, were ordered to bomb the city in response to the Libyan civil war. They refused, bailing out of the aircraft and parachuting to the ground. Su-22s were heavily used by the Libyan loyalist forces against the insurgent forces from mid-February up to mid-March 2011, when the international mission started and the no-fly zone was imposed. Among other missions, Su-22s also attacked anti-Gaddafi positions in Bin Jawad in early March 2011 as government forces retook the town. One Libyan Air Force Su-22 was destroyed on the ground by a Belgian Air Force F-16AM on March 27. Peru. Peru was the only export customer of the type in the Americas. On April 24, 1992, Peruvian fitters attacked a U.S. Air Force Lockheed C-130H Hercules of the 310th Airlift Squadron, which was intercepted at sea, west of Lima, injuring 6 of the 14 crew members. Crew member Joseph C. Beard, Jr., was killed when he was blown from the cabin at 18,500 feet, and crew member Ronald Hetzel sustained severe injuries, with his chest blown open and his jugular vein severed. The incident caused an almost year-long interruption to the U.S. anti-drug air bridge denial program and the establishment of a joint air operations center at Howard Air Force Base in Panama. During the 1995 Cenepa War between Peru and Ecuador, 2 Peruvian Sukhoi Su-22 were lost. On February 10, 1995, 2 Ecuadorian Air Force Mirage F-1JAS, piloted by Major R. Banderas and Captain C. Uzakatagi, were directed over 5 targets approaching the disputed Cenepa Valley. After making visual contact, the Mirages fired their missiles, claiming 2 Peruvian Su-22 a fitter F shot down, while a KFIR claimed a further A-37B Dragonfly. Peru, however, denied that the 2 Su-22 a fitter F were shot down by Mirages, stating that one was struck by Ecuadorian anti-aircraft artillery during a low-flying ground attack mission, and the second because of an engine fire. The Su-22s flew 45 sorties into the combat zone. A 20-strong force of fitters was also set up at El Pato as a retaliatory force should Ecuador decide to attack the coastal port. Poland. On August 19, 2003, a Polish Air Force Su-22 M4K was accidentally shot down by friendly fire during an exercise by a Polish 2K-12 KUB battery. The aircraft was flying 21 kilometers from the coast over the Baltic Sea near Ustka. The pilot ejected and was rescued after 2 hours in the water. He later died in a C-295M crash on January 23, 2008. As of 2012, Poland was planning to replace its Su-22s with 3 squadrons of UAVs. As of 2014, the Polish Air Force was planning to retain the Su-22s in service. It is hoped that this decision will have a positive impact on Polish industry, as the WZLNR2 repair facility in Bydgoszcz will maintain the remaining aircraft under contract to the Air Force. The decision would also allow the Air Force to retain the well-trained ground crews and pilots, currently operating the machines. The Poles consider the Su-22 easier to maintain and repair than the other main combat aircraft types currently in Polish service, mainly the MiG-29 and the F-16. They also suffer from fewer malfunctions and other problems, high, 70–75% non-error index. It is also the only plane in Polish inventory equipped for electronic intelligence, warfare, and support of ground systems. The Polish Air Force has retained a large stockpile of air-to-ground weapons for use with the Su-22. By some estimates, the cost of destroying these resources would be higher than the projected cost of continuing Su-22 operations. It was decided that starting from 2015, only 12 Su-22M4 and 4 to 6 Su-22UM3K out of 32 remaining would undergo a refit, increasing their lifespan for another 10 years. For economical reasons, the aircraft are not modernized, apart from fitting an additional radio R6113-2C2M with a blade antenna on the top, but they receive a new gray multi-shade camouflage, similar to other Polish aircraft. There is one exhibited at the Museum of Polish Arms in Kołobrzeg. Syria. The Syrian Air Force used Su-20/22s to attack Israeli forces in the Yom Kippur War and 1982 Lebanon War. Several Su-20/22s were shot down by the Israeli Air Force. From mid-2012, in the Syrian Civil War, Syrian Air Force Su-22s have been involved in combat operations against Syrian insurgents. Like other SYAAF fixed-wing aircraft, videos showed Su-22s using unguided munitions, mostly general-purpose bombs, cluster bombs, and incendiary bombs and unguided rockets. Attack tactics were low to medium altitude flat bombing runs with pull-up after rocketing or bombing, with decoy flares fired for self-defense. As of the end of 2015, the SYAAF Su-22S suffered a limited number of losses compared to the SYAAF MiG-21 and MiG-23 during the same period. The first confirmed loss of a SYAAF Su-22 was recorded on February 14, 2013, when rebel forces shot it down using a man-pads. On June 18, 2017, a USF/A-18E Super Hornet engaged and shot down a SYAAF Su-22 for dropping munitions on US-backed forces. According to the wingman of the Super Hornet that made the kill, the Syrian pilot was able to eject. Yemen. On August 11, 2009, Yemeni armed forces started Operation Scorched Earth in northern Yemen to fight the Houthis. The Yemeni Air Force backed the army with air raids on rebel-held positions. On October 5, 2009, a Yemeni Su-22 crashed when it was flying in formation with another aircraft, on the way back from a mission. The rebels claimed to have shot it down, while Yemeni armed forces denied shooting the claim and claimed that crashed due to technical problems. Earlier on October 2, the Yemeni revolutionaries said they shot down a MiG-21 while again the military insisted technical problems caused the crash. On November 8, a third Yemeni fighter aircraft reported to be a Sukhoi was destroyed. Again the military claimed it crashed due to technical problems, while the Yemeni revolutionaries claimed they shot it down. The pilot ejected and was recovered by friendly forces. The Yemeni Air Force once again used Sukhoi aircraft during the Arab Spring uprising. On September 28, 2011, a Yemeni Air Force Su-22 was shot down by tribesmen opposed to the rule of President Saleh. The government confirmed that rebels were responsible for the shoot-down, and that the pilot had been captured. On February 19, 2013, a Yemen Su-22 on a training mission crashed for unknown reasons into Sana'a, killing 12 civilians. On May 13, 2013, a Yemen Su-22 on a training mission crashed in Sana'a, killing the pilot. Variants: Su-7IG, S-22I, Fitter B. Su-7BM Variable Geometry Wing Demonstrator. Su-17, S-32, Fitter B. Limited production run based on the longer fuselage of the two-seat Su-7U trainer, with bulged dorsal spine for extra fuel, 4,550 L/1,200 US gal total. Retained Su-7S Lyolka AL-7F1 engine. Manufactured 1969-1973. Su-17K. Export version of the Su-17 for Egyptian Air Force. Su-17M, S-32M, Fitter C. First major production version, introduced Lyolka AL-21F3 engine, twin pitot tubes, new navigation and attack computer, retaining Su-7BMK SSRD-5M ranging radar, angle of attack vane, single brake parachute. Variable position intake center body providing maximum speed of Mach 2.1. First flight, December 28, 1971 with VS Soloviev at the controls. The export version was designated Su-20, first flying December 15, 1972 with A. Nisakov at the controls. Manufactured 1972-1975, entered service in 1973. Exported to Egypt, Poland, and Syria. Su-17M28. Testbed for Kh-28, as 9 Kyle, anti-radiation missile. Su-17MKG. Testbed for Kh-25, as 10 Karen, and Kh-29, as 14 Kedge, missiles. Su-17R. Small number of Su-17M aircraft equipped to carry reconnaissance pods. Equivalent export version designated Su-20R. Su-17M2, S-32M2, Fitter D. Nose extended 38 cm, 15 in, deleting ranging radar and drooping to improve pilot visibility. FON 1400 laser rangefinder / marked target seeker, LRMTS. ASP-17 and PBK-3-17S aiming avionics. RSBN-6S short-range navigation and instrument landing system. Undernose fairing for DIS-7 Doppler navigation radar. First flight, December 20, 1973 with VSI Lyashin at the controls. Manufactured 1974-1977, entered service in 1975. Su-17M2D. Test fit of the Tumansky/Kachaturov R-29BS-300 engine, shared with some MiG-23s, with 112.7 knots, 25,335 lbf, after burning thrust, in a bulged rear fuselage. Due to lack of performance advantage and decreased range due to higher fuel consumption, it was decided to offer this engine as an export version only. First flight, January 31, 1975 with A.N. Isakov at the controls. The export variant was designated Su-22, factory code S32M2K, NATO fitter F, manufactured 1977-1978. Su-17UM, S52U, fitter E. First two-seat trainer version, based on the Su-17M2, but with a different, deeper fuselage with windscreen moved forward, same length as the original Su-17M. Internal fuel capacity reduced and port cannon deleted, but retained full avionics and armament. First flight, August 15, 1975 with V.A. Kreshitov at the controls. Test flights revealed longitudinal instability at high angles of attack, which was remedied by enlarging the tail fin. Export version with the R-29 engine was designated Su-22U. Manufactured 1976-1978, entered service in 1976. Su-17M3, S52, fitter H. Based on the revised airframe of the Su-17UM, but with an avionics bay and an additional fuel tank in place of the rear cockpit, increasing the internal fuel capacity to 4,850 liters, 1,280 US gal. Doppler radar moved internally, removing the fairing. CLEN-P laser rangefinder/target designator. A launch rail for K-13, AA-2 Atoll, or R-60, AA-8 Aphid, was added between the two existing pylons on each wing. First flight, June 30, 1976 with V.A. Kreshitov at the controls. Export version with the R-29 engine and downgraded avionics, equivalent to Su-17M2, was designated Su-22M, factory designation S-52K, NATO fitter J, and first flew on May 24, 1977 with E.S. Soloviev at the controls. An export version with Su-17M3 avionics was designated Su-22M3, factory S-52MK. Su-17 manufactured 1976-1981, Su-22MS were manufactured 1978-1984. Su-17M/Su-22M/Su-22M3 was the most numerous variant with almost 1,000 built. Su-17UM, S-52UM. The initial trainer version with the same avionics suite as the Su-17M. The export version was designated Su-22UM3 with R-29 engine, and Su-22UM3K with the AL-21 engine. Manufactured 1978-1982. Su-17UM3, S-52UM3, fitter G. Revised trainer with the same avionics suite as the Su-17M3. First flight, September 21, 1978 with U.A. Yegorov at the controls. The export version was designated Su-22UM3 with R-29 engine, and Su-22UM3K with the AL-21 engine. Manufactured 1978-1982. Su-17M4, S-54, fitter K. Final production version with considerably upgraded avionics, including RSDN navigation, similar to LORAN, beacon navigation, inertial navigation, a more powerful, Clion, K54 laser rangefinder, radio compass, and SPO-15LE, Sirena, radar warning system. Additional fuselage inlets, including ram air inlet at the base of the fin, to improve engine cooling airflow, fixed air intake shock cone. Many aircraft were equipped for the use of TV-guided missiles and BA-58 Vjuga pod for anti-radiation missiles. AL-21F3 engine. Export version was designated Su-22M4, factory S-54K. First flight, June 19, 1980 with U. A. Yegorov at the controls. Su-17M4 was manufactured 1981-1988, Su-22M4 was manufactured 1983-1990. Su-20. The initial export version of the Su-17M, S-32MK. Su-22M5. A Russian-French upgrade package offered for existing aircraft with modernized cockpit, HOTAs, improved avionics systems. Deletes the laser rangefinder in favor of Phasotron/Thomson CSF Fathom radar. Su-22U. The S-52U two-seat combat trainer, export version of the Su-17UM, with a completely redesigned nose housing the tandem cockpits for student and instructor. Gun pods such as the GSH-23-based UPK-23 and SPPU-22 were utilized by the Su-17, Su-20, and Su-22. The SPPU-22 ground attack variant featured 30 degrees of traverse. An experimental version of the Su-20 was built with fixed wings attached to an Su-17M fuselage, in an effort to increase payload/range performance by eliminating the weight of the wing sweep system. Good results were obtained in flight tests in 1973, but further development was cancelled. Tactical reconnaissance versions of all variants could be made by fitting the KKR, Combined Ravani Container Razvidi Combined Reconnaissance Pod, on the centerline pylon. In-house OKB designations. S-22I. The first prototype variable geometry Su-7, converted form a production Su-7BM, first flown on August 2, 1966. S-32. The initial production version, dubbed Su-17 by the VVS, Voyeno-Vozdushnyi Sili Soviet Air Force. S-32M. The Su-17 with the Lyulka AL-21F engine and restructured fuselage plus several smaller modifications, resulting in a greater fuel capacity and more weapons stations. S-32MK. The Su-20 export version with revised armament options, and less sophisticated avionics. First flight, December 15, 1972. S-32MK hybrid. Single aircraft, F/N 9500, built with fuselage of S-32MK and fixed wings of Su-7BMK. Offered to customers as cheaper/less complex alternative to Su-20, but no production. S-32M2. The Su-17M with improved flying controls and weapon aiming equipment. Production carried out from 1975 to 1977. S-32M2K. The Su-22 export version of the Su-17M2 with a Tuminsky R-29BS-300 engine. S-32M2D. An Su-17 tested with ski landing gear, similar to that used on the S-26, Su-7, used for rough field landing and takeoff tests. Su-52U. The Su-17UM/Su-22U two-seat combat trainer version with a completely redesigned nose housing the tandem cockpits for student and instructor. S-52. In a reverse development, the trainer modifications were adapted for a new attack variant, the Su-17M3. S-52K. An export variant of the S-52, given the designation Su-22M. S-52M3K. Series production Su-22M3 aircraft with laser rangefinder and avionics mods. S-52UK. The trainer variant with all the S-32M2K structural modifications in a reduced weapons portfolio. S-52UM3. The Su-17UM3 for the VVS with avionics and aerodynamic changes. S-52UM3K. The export version of the Su-17UM3. S-52R. Tactical reconnaissance Su-17M3R with a KKR, Combined Ravani Container Razvidi Combined Reconnaissance Pod, on the centerline pylon. S-54. Production Su-17 M4 fighter bombers. S-54K. Export Su-17 M4S, designated Su-22 M4. S-54R. Tactical reconnaissance Su-17 M4R with a KKR, combine Ravani Container Razvidi combined reconnaissance pod, on the center line pylon. Operators. Angola. The People's Air and Air Defense Force of Angola operates 14 Su-22 variants. Libya. 2 Su-17 in service. Poland. The Polish Air Force operate 12 Su-22 M4 and 6 Su-22 UM-3K aircraft of 110 delivered. Poland operated 27 Su-20 since 1974 until the 1990s. Syria. 28 Su-22 aircraft served with the Syrian Air Force prior to the Syrian Civil War. Vietnam. 36 Su-22 aircraft served with the Vietnam People's Air Force. Yemen. Up to 23 Su-22 served with the Yemen Air Force prior to the Saudi Arabian-led intervention in Yemen. Many Su-22s were destroyed on the ground. Former operators. Iran. Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force. The Iranian Air Force received 40 Su-20/22s from Iraq in 1991. While non-operational for several years, in 2013, Iran started an overhauling program. In March 2015, it seems that some of the Iranian Air Force Su-22 were transferred to the Syrian Arab Air Force to fight in the ongoing civil war. Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. Afghan Air Force. More than 70 were sent to the Afghan Air Force from 1982, including 45 Su-22 M4 delivered from 1984. Armenia. Azerbaijan. The Azerbaijan Air Force. Belarus. Belarus Air Force. The Belarusian Air Force inherited Su-17s from the Soviet Air Force, but none remain in service. Bulgaria. Bulgarian Air Force. The Bulgarian Air Force operated 18 Su-22 M4 and 5 Su-22 UM aircraft. All are retired. Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovak Air Force. The Czechoslovak Air Force's Su-22, 49 Su-22 M4 and 8 Su-22 UM-3K in 1992, inventory was split between the Czech Republic and Slovakia in 1993. They were passed on to the Czech Air Force. Czech Republic. Czech Air Force. The Czech Air Force inherited 31 Su-22 M4 and 5 Su-22 UM-3K. All were retired in 2002. East Germany. Air Forces of the National People's Army. The East Germany operated 48 Su-22 M4 and 8 Su-22 UM-3K until unification, when they were passed on to the Luftwaffe. Volksmarine. The East German Navy operated 8 Su-22 M4KS and 2 Su-22 UM-3K aircraft. Egypt. Egyptian Air Force. The Egyptian Air Force operated 48 of Su-20/22 aircraft, although all have been withdrawn, being replaced by the F-4 Phantom II and General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcons in their role. Germany. Luftwaffe. A number of Su-22 aircraft were inherited from East Germany, although these did not serve in the Luftwaffe, but some of them were painted with a Luftwaffe color scheme for test and evaluation. All of them have been decommissioned. German Navy. Ex-Volksmarine aircraft. Hungary. Hungarian Air Force. The Hungarian Air Force maintained 12 Su-22 M3 and 3 Su-22 UM-3 aircraft from 1983. 2 single-seat and 1 training aircraft crashed. Withdrawn from service in 1997. Iraq. Iraqi Air Force. The Iraqi Air Force received a large number of Su-22 models, of which 40 were impounded by Iran after having escaped coalition air campaign in 1991. None survived the 2003 invasion of Iraq by the United States. Kazakhstan. Su-17 aircraft were inherited by the armed forces of the Republic of Kazakhstan, but never put into service. Libyan Arab Jamahiriya. The Libyan Air Force operated as many as 90 Su-22 aircraft, with around 40 Su-22 M3 and Su-22 UM-3K aircraft in service at the beginning of 2011 when the Libyan uprising started. During the Libyan civil war, the Gaddafi regime used Su-22s in combat operations. North Yemen. North Yemen Air Force. Peru. Peruvian Air Force. The Peruvian Air Force acquired 32 Sukhoi Su-22 Fitter F, 4 Su-22 Fitter E, 16 Su-22 Fitter J and 3 Su-22 Fitter G aircraft between 1977 and 1980. Retired in 2006, 11 remain in reserve status. Russia. Russian Air Force. The Russian Air Force inherited Soviet Su-17 aircraft, but has withdrawn the type from service. At least one example remains flying as a chase aircraft operated by Sukhoi at their KNAAPO facility. Russian Naval Aviation. Slovakia. Slovak Air Force. The Slovak Air and Air Defense Forces inherited 18 Su-22 M4 and 3 Su-22 UM-3K aircraft from Czechoslovakia in 1993. In 1999, 6 Su-22 M4, and in 2001, 4 Su-22 M4 and 1 Su-22 UM-3K aircraft were sold to Angola while rest of the fleet was grounded and is being used as museum exhibits and as teaching aid in flight schools. South Yemen. South Yemen Air Force. Soviet Union. Soviet Union Su-17s were split between post-USSR countries. Soviet Air Force. Soviet Naval Aviation. Turkmenistan. A number of Su-17 aircraft were inherited by the military of Turkmenistan, but they were never put into service. Ukraine. Ukrainian Air Force. A total of 40 Su-17 aircraft were inherited from the Soviet Union and most of them now retired from service, but a few are stored. Uzbekistan. A number of Su-17 aircraft were inherited by the military of Uzbekistan, now all are retired and stored at Chirchik. Specifications: Su-17 M4. General characteristics. Crew, 1. Length, 19.02 m, 62 feet 5 in. Wingspan. With wings spread, 13.68 m, 44 feet 11 in. With wings swept, 10.02 m, 32 feet 10 in. Height, 5.12 m, 16 feet 10 in. Wing area. With wings spread, 38.5 square meters, 414 feet superscript 2. With wings swept, 34.5 square meters, 370 feet superscript 2. Empty weight, 12,160 kilograms, 26,810 pounds. Loaded weight, 16,400 kilograms, 36,155 pounds. Max takeoff weight, 19,430 kilograms, 42,835 pounds. Fuel capacity, 3,770 kilograms, 8,310 pounds. Power plant, 1 times Lyulka AL-21F3 afterburning turbojet. Dry thrust, 76.4 knots, 17,185 lbf. Thrust with afterburner, 109.8 knots, 24,675 lbf. Performance. Maximum speed. At sea level, Mach 1.13, 1,400 km per hour, 870 miles per hour. At altitude, Mach 1.51, 1,860 km per hour, 1,156 miles per hour. Combat range, 1,150 km, 715 miles, 620 nmi, in high-low-high attack with 2,000 kg, 4,400 pounds, warload. Ferry range, 2,300 km, 1,430 miles, 1,240 nmi. Service ceiling, 14,200 m, 46,590 feet. Rate of climb, 230 m/s, 45,275 feet/min. Wing loading, 443 kg/m superscript 2, 90.77 lb/foot superscript 2. Thrust/weight, 0.68. Maximum G-load, 7 grams. Armament. Guns. 2 x 30 mm Nettleman Richter NR30 autocannons, 80 rounds per gun, 160 rounds total. UPK-23 or SPPU-22 gun pods for 2 x Gryazov Shipunov GSH-23L autocannons. Hardpoints, 12 hardpoints with a capacity of up to 4,000 kilograms, 8,800 pounds, of stores and provisions to carry combinations of missiles. Air-to-air missiles. K-13. R-60. R-73. Air-to-surface missiles. KH-23 Grom. KH-25 ML. KH-29L/T/D. Anti-radiation missiles. KH-58. KH-27 PS. KH-28. Bombs, drop bombs, laser-guided bombs, electro-optical bombs, napalm bombs, drag-chute bombs and cluster bombs. Roll fighter bomber. National origin Soviet Union. Manufacturer Sukhoi. First flight August 2, 1966. Introduction 1970. Status in limited service. Primary users Syrian Air Force, Polish Air Force, Peruvian Air Force, Vietnam People's Air Force. Produced 1969-1990. Number built 2867. Developed from Sukhoi Su-7.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.